All right, my beautiful people. Today I want to speak to you about something that has been irking the life out of me for a long period of time. And that is that whole thing that everybody has about taking massive action. Everybody's on about it. All these coaches and all these breakthrough masterclass leaders and whatever, everybody's like, you got to take massive action, you got to take massive action. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just like action, 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 action. Just do. Just put it out there, just do it. And if you do it, it doesn't matter how it looks, it doesn't matter how it is. Get yourself out there, get over the first hurdle. And I don't completely disagree with them. But there are very definite loopholes in this plan. And these loopholes can really, really hit you for a six in an incredibly bad way. And I speak from a lot of personal experience. I speak from a couple of these master classes that I've joined. Of course, usually, people reach out to each other. And what I came to discover is a common theme, because I used to think that it's just me, and of course because I thought it was just me, I tried to do the massive action over and over and over again, feeling like a failure when it didn't work for me. But then I started to discover some commonalities between what other people were saying and what I was experiencing, And here's the thing that I want you to remember. So when you build your own brand, when you build your own business, so there's a lot of fear and things that are going along with that. And if you are finding this video beneficial, then I've got some links in the description for some other videos that I have as well, how to deal with fear, those things that can really sort of like boggle you over sometimes. So then go ahead and check that. All right, but obviously after you're done with this video, because how are you going to know if you like it if you didn't watch the whole thing, So welcome to the video. I'm Adrian Nelson. I am a wellness practitioner. I'm a wellness entrepreneur. I'm a person who's just very passionate about helping other people really find what does holistic wellness mean to them. So I am not a big fan of saying this is who I am, this is how I do it, this is the right formula, this is how you must do it. I am more interested in saying, okay, well, what works for you? And I was exceptionally blessed because I've been doing my business since July 2019. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since July 2019, and I've been exceptionally blessed because my best friend of like 20 plus years is a social media expert. And the one thing that she does, which is so great, even with her marketing and her coaching and all those type of things, is that it's like, who are you? What is it that you want to do? What do you want the end result to be? And more importantly than anything else, who do you want to be in that end result? Like in the equation of the end result, who do you want to be? How do you want to experience it? Because I think that we live in this world where it's always like about go, 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 and you got to do this and got to do that and get the money and get the people signed up and, get the coaching out, get the offer out, get the product out. That sometimes we forget in all of this crazy mania that we put on our own shoulders that you are a human being that is in a human environment, and you have human experiences and human, emotions and needs and desires, and also experiences and sort of like comebacks when you don't give yourself what it is that you need and desire and what you're worthy of. You know what I mean? So the way that I see it, and the way that I've experienced it, and the way that my friend works, and which is so great, and the way that I support my clients that I help, be it in sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes in like a smaller group, but the way that I help you say, okay, let's do things in the right way from the start. It might take a bit longer, but I don't believe in building castles on crumbling foundations. Not the best idea. All right. And this whole thing about just like massive action, don't care how it looks, just do it. I've tried it. I know people who've tried it. It puts such immense pressure on your shoulders. It leads to such overwhelm, because here's the thing. It is always stressful to put out new material. I'm a lot more comfortable with it now, but it took me 4.5 years to get there. You know what I mean? It took me 4.5 years to speak about this sort of thing in actual fact. But I was like, if I really want to help people, then there are certain things that I'm going to have to address, and everybody may not agree with me. And that's fine. That is their prerogative. So I can really only speak from my experience, what works for me and what works with my clients and what I've seen. And because what I actually find what I have found, not a lot of times, but what I have gotten more than just a few times, several times actually, is that people enroll in these really pricey master classes, and they have to tick all these boxes, and sometimes these people can take this very, like, in a group approach. You feel very pressured, and you feel like, I'm not meeting up to the par if I don't do what anybody else does, and everybody's like, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, you gotta do it, and you feel so pressured, and eventually you do things, but then in retrospect, you're not always that happy with it. And I think you want to take the time to first work through your beliefs. You want to work through your fears. You want to work through your intention. You want to work at who do I want to be at the end, What is the brand that I want to build? How would I want people to see me? How do I want to show up? What is comfortable for me to do that? And yes, there comes a point where you do have to push yourself, because if you don't, at some point, just push yourself. If you don't, at some point, just jump. You can't stay on the ledge forever. The time is never really fully right. But this whole thing of putting such immense pressure on yourself to put out a video every day or a post every day, to put out maybe 2 or 3 things out every day. I remember when I first started with my YouTube channel, and and I was doing daily, well, not daily, but I was doing sort of like weekly YouTube readings for all the different zodiac signs, but I had material every day, and I was really, really pushing myself, and I was looking at so many videos, and all of them kept on saying, just put it out there, just create. I remember it was incredibly stressful for me. I was always wound up, and I was always second guessing myself and doubting myself, and I was feeling like, I'm not meeting up to par if I wasn't sort of like delivering, and sometimes I'd be really tired, but I'd really give myself so much anxiety. And I'm going to recommend to you today, this is what I'm going to recommend to you. Take it easy on yourself. Content creation is something that you wanna be passionate about it. I think if you ask me what is the number one tip for success in content creation, then it is creating material around topics, or a specific subject or a specific focus point that you are passionate about. Something that makes your heart smile, something that makes your cells sparkle. That is also how you work to getting your life mission, your life vision. So many people ask me, Adrian, I want to know what my life purpose is. I remember that at some point I used to do this, like the radio shows, and then I would draw some cards for people, like a little bit, like some time ago, and more often than not, people would want to know, what is my life purpose? What am I meant to do? What is the next step that I'm meant to take? And you know what? I can tell you from personal experience, back in 2018 when I had absolutely fuck all to my name, I was so stressed. I was working a job that, to say that I despised it is an understatement. It was horrible. It was an online job. I was selling accommodation space. It's one of these companies, you start working for them and everything is amazing. And then, the companies start overextending themselves, and they try to find all these stupid reasons to get rid of you and to fire you. And just such pressure, and all of a sudden we went from earning so much money to so much money because, the companies realizing, oh my goodness, we can cap this. We don't have to pay them that much, And I think I also realized back then, and this is something I want to share with you, but I want you to be mindful around it now, But I realized that the only way to really be in control of my own life experience is to work for myself. That was for me. Doesn't have to be a truth for you, that's the truth for me. That I don't have to put up with anybody else's crap and everybody else's moods, and they're changing policies and, all sorts of stuff, and then they change like your payment structure, whatever the case may be. In order for me to really live the life that I want to live on my terms, mean that I had to work for myself. That's something I became very clear about, And so, yeah, it was step by step. It was little bit by little bit. But anyways, I didn't really believe that I could do even a tenth of what I do now. I didn't have little faith in myself. I had no faith. All I had was a dream, nothing else. A dream that I thought was impossible. And I thought if I work really, really hard and I'm very diligent and I'm a very good boy, maybe, hopefully, possibly, perhaps, if God was smiling down upon me, maybe in like 20 years I would be able to get like maybe 1 or 2 appointments on a Saturday. maybe, you know. But needless to say that through quite a lot of hard work and diligence and focus and finding myself and finding my feet, I have been able to make a much bigger success of my life, of my career, than I ever thought possible. And it's so wonderful for me because it's all about helping other people be better, which is my passion, you know. So I'm going to say to you, first of all, find what are you passionate about? What is it that makes your soul smile? What is it that makes your soul sparkle? And I remember it was back in 2018, I was looking at at some guidance that Colette Baron Reed was giving, and she was saying that to find your life purpose, to find your passion, to find the thing that's going to work for you, you want to sit and ask yourself, what is it that I can do that I'm happy to do at any time? You wake me up in the middle of the night, I do it. I can do it all day long. I can do it whether you pay me or not. I can do it if I'm in the best mood ever, I'm having the worst day in my life. And I said, well, to me, that is tarot. But of course, I had a lot of the concerns and the worries that, there are thousands of the tarot readers out there. Why would anybody want to come to me? I don't have my life together. And again, my best friend reminded me of something so profound. And if only one person out there can hear this message and it can reach and it can help you, then I would have achieved success through this video. And maybe share it because maybe someone else needs to hear it, But here's what I learned. Yes, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of tarot readers out there, but none of them are me. None of them are me. And my people will come to me, And there's the same thing with whatever it is that you're putting out there. Whether it is you write nice little poetry things on cards, or a cake business, or mechanic business, or paving roads, or you want to build your own plane, or whatever the case may be, nobody's you. And that is the magic ingredient. And so I would say taking massive action can be good, but you want to be careful that you don't take such massive action that you lose yourself in the process, that you give yourself unfair anxiety, that you throw your body's hormones out of balance by, not giving yourself a moment to breathe. Okay? Remember that you're still a human being, you need sleep. And again, the key point is that you want to enjoy what you do. Even if you feel a bit stressful about it sometimes, if it's not enjoyable, what is the point? Okay? So, and I think it's obviously different for everybody, but also something that really worked for me is that my friend again said to me, Adrian, this is what I want you to do. Create a video when you feel, or whenever you feel inspired to do it. Whether you show your face, whether you don't show your face, whether it's the middle of the night, whatever feels appropriate to you, do it at that point in time. And since I've taken that approach, just following my passion, trusting that by intuition, that spirit is guiding me every step of the way, things have been working out for me. They've been pretty smooth. Okay? So, if you want to take a look at those other videos, go right ahead. Let me know if this is helpful, if it's beneficial, if you want me to create something similar to this, if you want me to build on that, on this. And this is really just me sharing with you what I have sometimes learned the hard way, things that made it easier for me on the way as an entrepreneur. It's not always the easiest part, but it's a very fulfilling part. I cannot see myself going to work for someone ever again. All those offers, sort of like, all those politics and storms in teacups and, this shit and that shit, like, And that is why it's such a passion for me to help people, to progress from that one step to the next. And especially, I'm not, sometimes people come to me and they expect they're going to have one session, everything's going to be fine. I'm like, Baba, you are going here against generational patterning. And it doesn't mean that you have to work with me forever, but, you get a lot more benefit from, 4 sessions. Even 10 sessions maybe spread over 5 months, 2 sessions a month, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, And you really get to ease into your abundance. And like when you work with me, you really get to work with those fears first, work with those beliefs first, so that they don't mess you up going forward. And what we often do is when we take this massive action, You know, we don't look at our fears, we don't look at our beliefs, we don't look at all these things that we inherited from our ancestors about our worth and our value. And then you're successful, you make the money and you get the clients, but then you yourself, you know, you suffer in your own personal capacity as a result of that. And I have, you know, I have walked that path before more than once, and I can tell you it is not pleasant, because you get all this anxiety, you get all this overwhelm, you get all these emotions, and you can't even pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. Okay? So I'm going to say take massive action. Nothing is ever really going to be perfect, so take massive imperfect action, but do it when you are ready for it. Do it when that comment that is going to come about, and that comment says like, you know, you a twat, who do you think you are? It's not going to make you completely crumble down and not ever do anything again, because you understand that whoever says whatever, you know, hurt people, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So that's what I have for you. I hope that it helps. Let me know your thoughts. If you're an entrepreneur, you know, whether you're full-time, part-time, doesn't really matter, you want to go that way, please share your tips. Please share what works for you. Put it in the comments, because this is not just for me. This is for everybody else. So share with people what really, really works for you. Okay? If you're interested in some of my coaching options, there are some coaching for self-development and stuff, all down below in the description. Have a look at it. But from my heart, namaste, love and light. And remember that the world needs your beauty, the world needs your light. And there is nobody on this planet who is you. You know, as Dr. Seuss said, Dr. Seuss is actually one of my favorites. There's nobody youer than you. You know, I remember a couple of years ago, slightly off the point, but I remember a couple of years ago, I was in Florida, and I was at Busch Gardens, you know, the theme park. And there were all these great rides, and I went to go look for someone, and obviously Busch Gardens is huge. I went to go look for someone, or was it at Universal Studios? I think it was Universal Studios. Yeah, I think it was Universal Studios. Anyways, I went to go look for someone, and I kind of got lost, you know. Discovered a great roller coaster along the way, and I love roller coasters. And actually something funny happened that day. I remember there's like that square sort of thing, and I think you're like 4 on the side and get like strapped in. This is early in this day, and you kind of go up, and sometimes they shoot you up and you fall down and stuff like that. And I speak 2 languages, English and Afrikaans, and Afrikaans is the more sort of like South African language that I speak. And it's funny because I would predominantly speak English or think in English or reason in English. But anyway, so this day I was on this thing, and for some reason I started off in Afrikaans. Now this is in Florida in the US, you know, where most people understand English. And for some reason I switched to English. I was like, oh my God, you know, God, please, I'm praying to you if you let me off this thing. Now, yeah, I am a grown man, and this is like a young child next to me. Like, God, if you let me off this, I will change my life. My life was quite crazy back then. And of course, when this thing stopped, you know, this young girl, she practically fell out of this thing, not from the ride, but just from laughing at me. But anyway, so later in the day, when I was looking for my friend, because we needed to go, we went there with a bus, like a day trip, which was awesome. One of my best days ever, beautiful memory. But anyway, so I came across the Dr. Seuss sort of like playground, the area, and it was the best thing ever. It was the most magical thing ever. And this is what I want for you with your business. That when people discover it, they get that magic because it's you, but that you first and foremost discover that magic. You know, and it's because people will only tap into magic and connect with magic when it comes from magic, you know. And you giving yourself the gift of you as you go through things, that's how people do tap into that magic. Okay, so everybody wins. All right, see you in the next video.